Hello, my loves. Let's have a cup of tea together and talk further ruminations on the Three of Swords. So I always have this intention of like going through all of the minors at some point and like just doing videos like this where I sit and chat about my experience with each of them. But somehow over the years, Three of Swords has always, it's just so important when it shows up that Three of Swords always ends up being the one that gets the most airtime on the channel as far as individual minor arcana cards that we kind of just sit down and talk about. But I've recently had a new interaction with the Three of Swords, and I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about that, what's kind of come through, and my experience with this card over time. So well, hold on, let's have a sip of tea first. So I've been talking my little butt off today. Okay, so here's a more traditional representation of the Three of Swords. I'm going to be referencing Ian Daniels' Phantasmagoria Ian Daniels' Phantasmagoria guidebook to the Tarot of Vampyres in this video. So if you want to explore Phantasmagoria more, you will need to purchase the Tarot of Vampyres deck as a whole. But I actually prefer the symbolism in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, and I really love Mary L. Tarot's Three of Swords. So I thought that this would be the image I would share in this video, just in case you're not 100% familiar with the artwork here. So Three of Swords is one of those cards that like nobody wants to get. And if you are a little bit less acquainted with tarot, but you like to get tarot readings, it's one of those cards that when you get that card in a reading, your reader pulls that card for you. It's very similar to the death card in the reaction that I watch my clients and viewers have to this card. It's really clear what the deck, what the card represents just from the imagery. There's serious heartache, loss, mourning, sadness that you can just feel looking at the imagery. Now, in a lot of decks, the Three of Swords has the swords piercing a heart, or in this case, it might be piercing the bird. But you'll notice in this image, it is not piercing the bird. The bird is trying to deal with the three swords together. What is this card typically referenced? Well, when we read traditionally, we do look at it as heartbreak. It certainly doesn't bode well for a relationship, if you're asking about a relationship when you draw this card. Any kind of relationship, romantic or otherwise. And traditionally, it is talking about a difficult time, a time of sadness, but it's insight that is gained from the sadness, the sorrow, the heartbreak. A sub-theme within this image, is having to face the truth about something that we may not have wanted to deal with. You know, maybe it's that we have to face the truth that our partner has betrayed us in a significant way for us. Perhaps it's the truth that the job where we've been giving our all is just not going to offer equal recompense. Perhaps it's the truth of looking at a difficult dynamic from our childhood and getting really honest about how much that's affected us and how it's still affecting us in our present day. There's also a sub-theme within this card of looking at the past. And there is a necessity at times to look at the past and to understand the lesson, to find the wisdom, to allow ourselves to release emotions that perhaps we've buried down in our body from certain painful circumstances. There's also a shadow aspect within the Three of Swords of staying stuck in the sadness, of staying stuck in the dark. And if you have significant Scorpio placements in your chart, I can assure you, at times it's very easy to get stuck in the pain, right? There's a sweet spot, a fine line of dealing and honoring and looking at our pain. And then there's also the drowning in the pain, the hiding in the pain, the staying in the pain because we're afraid to move forward, what that could mean for us, right? And so we have all of these beautiful undercurrents running throughout the Three of Swords. And it is definitely a card, much like the Death card and the Tower card, as I said, that just are not, they don't portend good things. easy things, light things. They are a hard teacher, but we all need those teachers at times. And so Three of Swords is a valuable card in the deck, and it's one that all of us at one point or another are going to come up against on our personal journeys. It was fascinating because while this card has come up for me many times in my physical journey, I rarely ever draw this card as a daily draw. And the other day, last week, I drew this card as a daily draw card, and I felt the feeling I have watched my clients express on their faces of, oh my fucking God, what the fuck is gonna happen next? I have felt my stomach drop, and I was like, no, I don't wanna like have something that I'm not expecting happen today that's really, really painful and feels like a betrayal and is gonna make me sad, right? And I was so intrigued by my reaction to actually drawing this as a daily draw that it really gave me a beautiful opportunity to do a lot of journaling. Thank God I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I had a really nice journaling session that morning around this card. And because I had drawn it from Tarot of Vampyres, I've been really this entire year, I've been using Tarot of Vampyres every morning. I'll bring in other tarot decks for my daily draws, like to accompany, but it's mainly been Tarot of Vampyres almost every day. Tarot of Vampyres and Nameless One have been really big for me in my personal practice this year. And so I read from Phantasmagoria every day because I enjoy it, and because this book is like the freaking Bible to me, in that every time I read this, I find something new that I missed. And so this time around, a few things stuck out to me. So I thought I would share them with you guys from the guidebook. And again, this is Phantasmagoria. If you want to purchase this book, you need to purchase the Tarot of Vampyres by Ian Daniels. I will put the Amazon link below. I do not make money off of that link. Okay, so what really stuck out to me in sitting with the guidebook meanings were the following. This release is needed for us to move on. We should be careful that our feelings do not lead us astray. We should recognize that feelings pass and are not the whole of reality, only of our current perception. Heartache can be an impetus for growth beyond our zone of consciousness. This card can be a harsh teacher demanding that we face the truth. It forces us out of our safety zone and makes impurities visible. It teaches us to master anxiety and reduce feelings of isolation so that we can flow more freely with the everlasting. And then this last part stuck out to me a lot. I am reading from pages 235 and 236 here. The mind must give way to a higher consciousness than itself. This frees us from the past and can even present us with a deep trance of sorrow that connects us with the bewitching, mysterious, and dark magic of nature in all its deep beauty. And so what I found that transpired for me from journaling and then as I moved throughout my day wasn't that something awful, some impending doom happened that, caused heartbreak to happen, but more that I was dancing with this dark magic of nature in all its deep beauty. In being able to see through the lens in every reading that I did that day, which was fascinatingly all focused on relationships that were not, that were moving through a time of crisis. And then as I kind of pulled back that lens and looked for myself at a certain friendship dynamic in my life, I realized that how I was working with the Three of Swords on that day, with that card as my daily draw, was this kind of deep trance of sorrow that was connecting me to the beauty and the magic that lies inherently within the energy of the Three of Swords. So there's an encouragement as we work with this card over the years to examine and explore how this deck is a teacher for us, allowing us to access honesty that we may have been avoiding, allowing us to access feelings and emotions that we may tend to hide from or ignore, and allowing us to see that when we dance with this card, we're actually being given an opportunity to achieve clarity at a new level and to understand the beauty in each and every experience, even when it's visceral, even when it's painful, even when it's fucking heartbreaking, right? I had an interesting conversation with my son last night, that really tied into this card and has been the impetus in a lot of ways for me to make this video. So I love you, Vincent. If you ever watch this video, I love you. But he was having an emotional moment, and we were talking about how he was feeling, and he said, you know, Mom, I'm just heartbroken. And there was something about the way that he said that and expressed that so truthfully that really allowed, you could feel a shift for him in the acknowledgement, in the realization, and also a shift for me listening and loving him, the honesty of heartbreak, that there is a profound magic to that. It's not a teacher that we walk with every moment of every day, but when we engage with it, where is the beauty? How can we be honest with ourselves? And how can we set ourselves free? This card brings a clarity with it, even though it's an intense, powerful teacher. So as I move further along the road with tarot, I mean, I think tarot is my lifelong love, but I've really, really come to have such a huge amount of just respect for this card. And yes, even I don't want to draw this card personally for myself at times. So don't feel alone if it shows up. But do give yourself the opportunity to journal or to sit with the energy and find the beauty within the honesty that you're opening up to, and allow yourself to feel your feelings. There's something really powerful in that sets us free. So I hope you've enjoyed my little further chat down the road with Three of Swords. I hope you're all doing well out there in the world. I am sending you guys, as always, so much love and many blessings. I will see you in the next video.